Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Scott Conklin. I'm the Director of Admissions at Episcopal High School, and we're here with our swimming coaches, Coach Pinkney and Coach Douglas, and two of our swimmers, Ben Condemi and Sophie Nowitzki. So we're here to learn a little bit more about our swimming program and some opportunities for those students who are really interested in swimming. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our coaches and athletes to introduce themselves.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ben Douglas. I am one of the head coaches for Episcopal Swimming. This is my second year here at Episcopal. And in addition to being a swim coach, I work in the admissions office and also have my duty in the freshman boys dorm on campus.
Hi, everyone. I'm Briley Pinkney. I'm the other swim coach here at Episcopal. This is also my second year. I am also in admissions office as well. And I'm a ninth grade girl advisor. And I also live on one of the upperclassmen girl dorms. So welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ben Condemi. I'm a senior on the swim team. In addition to swim, I play football and I'm a monitor on the freshman boys dorm.
Hi, I'm Sophie Nowitzki. I'm also a senior on the swim team. This is my fourth year at Episcopal. I'm a monitor on the freshman girls dorm, and I also work as a tutor and a waiter at Episcopal.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Coach Pinkney and Coach Douglas, do you want to go through a few of those slides and kind of talk about some of the highlights of the swimming program?
Yeah, sure. So swimming at Episcopal is basically brand new. The 1920 school year was the first year that the program was in existence, and Coach Pinkney and I were honored to kind of help kick things off for the first year. It was an amazing first year. We had a lot of swimmers come out. We were basically at capacity for what we can transport in the buses over to the pool. And everyone had a really successful season. Everyone improved, both certainly in time, but also a lot of technique and just learning the ins and outs of how to be a swimmer.
You may want to go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is our facilities on campus. We do not have a pool on campus. Well, I guess technically we do, but it's an outdoor pool, so that would not work for the swim season. So last year, what we did, being our first year, we had 4 days a week that we would practice off campus at a pool. And the other day, or sometimes 2 days, depending on the week, we would be here on campus doing dry land. We had a strength and conditioning coach that worked with all those sports. And so he would work with our group at least once a week. And so we were able to get some conditioning here and on campus. But when we were off campus, we practiced at a local facility called the St. James. And so it is this incredible sports complex about 20 minutes down the road from us. And we were fortunate enough to have some pool time there where we had access to all the equipment that we needed. It's an awesome facility. We did have another coach with us there who was fantastic, and he has, I think, like 20 plus years of coaching experience. So he was great. And we really could accommodate all different levels, from the beginners who were still working on their stroke technique to some of our more advanced swimmers who had swam either summer league or club.
Awesome, thanks. This one is a question for the athletes, Ben and Sophie. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like to be on the swimming team last year, kind of as a member of the team, and what the practices may have been like?
Yeah, I can hop in really quick. I came to Episcopal my freshman year. I had swam for a long part of my life. I'd been a club swimmer and a summer swimmer, and they actually not having it at Episcopal was something that I struggled with and talked to the Fitzpatricks about probably every week for my first 2 years, our athletic directors. And so finally having it here was definitely like bringing a part of like my pre-Episcopal life to Episcopal. And I think it's one of the best things because you not only get to get off campus every night, which can be a nice release, but swimming is probably one of the most meditative sports there is. And I actually found that when I was swimming, my academics were going up because I was so focused and so tired that I was probably getting enough sleep every night.
Yeah, I think Sophie hit it on the head right there. Definitely the practices are workouts. You're gonna be tired afterwards, but they're also fun. Like the bus rides to and from the St. James, they're a lot of fun bonding with your teammates. And then also swimming, just in between work sets or anything like that, just cracking jokes with your friends in your lane is a really great experience.
To the coaches, how long does it take to get to the St. James? What time are you leaving from practice and getting back in the evening? Does it impact kind of dinner, studies, and how much time do you actually get in the pool?
Yeah, good question. Good question. And the answer is the very ambiguous. It depends on traffic. Really, most days on the way to practice, it was about 20 to 25 minutes, so a little bit longer. And then on the return trip, a little bit later in the evening, when traffic had died down, it was only a 15-minute bus ride. So much easier in the afternoons. Um, Last year the schedule was different than the schedule will be in this upcoming year, and so we were, being off campus, we were limited a little bit to the amount of water time we actually had, and so practices were, a minimum of an hour and 15 minutes and usually about an hour and a half in a given day, and we would make sure that we were back absolutely in time for dinner. And then certainly it didn't impact any kind of studies or anything like that. And we were also really flexible with students. And if they, had something that they had to attend, we would either alter our practice schedule and, get back to campus a little bit early if there was enough of the team that was impacted by that. Or if it was just an individual appointment or conflict, we would allow those students to do some on-campus dry land workouts themselves, and then still be able to attend their appointments.
Sophie and Ben, can you talk a little bit about what it's like? And Sophie, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but the balancing as a student athlete, how do you balance academics and practice with kind of your social life at EHS?
I can jump in. I think personally, I find myself more organized and better on top of my schedule when I'm in season. And I think just knowing the plan for your day, the schedule for your day when you have your commitments helps you structure your day, and tackle your tasks in a more organized manner. And I just think um, I find myself in more of a routine when I'm in season, and that helps in the classroom.
Yeah, and even in terms of social life, I think I got really lucky that a lot of my friends were on the team even, but I think everybody on the team, whether or not they had a lot of their specific friends, were having a good time, just because it is a common experience that you share being on the swim team and you get to leave campus every day. So I think it creates its own social life within the team, which is really nice.
Coach Pinkney, you talked a little bit about, I think, what it's like to come in as a beginner swimmer, and maybe someone that has a little more experience. Can you go into a little bit more detail on what it might look like for someone coming in with very little experience, and also maybe someone who is looking to maybe compete at the next level?
Yeah. So, like I said, we have swimmers that come out that have varying abilities. I think the main requirement is that you're able to pass the swim test, just so that, we're not worried that we're going to have to jump in. But I think the great thing about having three coaches is that we can all sort of take the different levels depending on if you're a beginner and you really just need that technique, you're trying to get your basic strokes down. If you're kind of in the middle where you've got the technique, but now we're just doing a little bit more, building up that conditioning, and then you're advanced, or we're going to really push you and make sure you're getting in some good sets. So we're able to accommodate all three of those. And so this being our first year, we were still figuring out what levels of abilities we had, and we had it all across the board. I think the hope is that in the future that we're able to sort of divide up our practices the same way, and then get into some good competitions for those kids that are looking for that raise, that competitiveness for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. for the kids, you had a couple meets last year, right? How were like, what was that experience like? Were those all at the St. James, or did you travel to any other schools to compete there?
So we had one meet, and it was at St. James, and it was a couple local teams, and a lot of those kids also do club and everything. So for me, and I think Ben as well, doing meets it was just something that you hop into, and it's very natural. But it was fun to see other people have that be their first meet and not know what was going on at all, and having to help them. But it was really fun. It was nice to, like, at the end of the season have something that you could have, like, worked towards and really, like, finish and compete. And I really appreciated being able to do it.
Yeah, it was cool to see people go into their first meet being really nervous and not knowing what to expect, and then afterwards just be really excited and be asking, like, when's the next meet? When are we gonna? I wish we had more meets, and it was just a good sign to see where this program is gonna go.
Well, I think a lot of school records were set in that initial meet. Coach Pinckney, Coach Douglas, any closing thoughts for the swimming program?
We're just excited to see where it goes. I mean, we were thrilled when the athletic directors approached us about having swimming, because both Coach Douglas and I are former swimmers, and so this is near and dear to our hearts. So we're just excited that kids are interested and they're excited about it, and to just grow the program, and who knows where it'll go. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time to be a part of the swim program, because, in these early days, every single swimmer is really helping decide, what kind of program are we going to have. And that to me is so much fun. And like Ben and Sophie said, that the meet that we had at the end of the season, it was awesome to see the transformation of, so many of our less experienced swimmers who were so nervous and didn't really want to compete, and they were, maybe even a little bit shy. But then once they got in and they were, swimming as hard as they could, and they got those competitive juices flowing, they were ready for more meets, and that's the direction that we want to take it in.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much, everybody. It's exciting to kind of see where our swim team can go. And if you're a prospective student or a parent and want to learn more about the program, feel free to reach out to Coach Pinckney or Coach Douglas. And we thank you for joining us today.